Okay, I want to give you a brief overview of the next three projects that my students are going to do, and kind of talk about why I picked them and what the progression is. So first and foremost is material that we're going to use. So for almost every project we do in the first semester, we use either 1x8 or 1x6 redwood fence boards. They're easy to source where I'm at. And the other reason why this is a 5 foot long board, I try to pull projects out of dimensional lumber like this because it's really easy for me to plan. So each year I have a different number of students, and if basically I know how many boards I need, like how many projects fit in one board, I can just scale my lumber delivery to be able to give me the right number of lumber for the kids for that year. So we're going to make three projects out of this one board, and that really can last us a good 3 weeks. So we can get 3 weeks worth of work out of one by eight, which we get a pretty good discount on. Costs us almost $7, but that's about the right price point. So a couple dollars a week is about what I can spend. And I come from a pretty wealthy district, so I'm by no means hurting, but even just a couple of dollars a week, adds up pretty quickly when you have 60 plus kids. So the first project, they basically cut off 12 inches of their 1x8, and what they're making is this phone holder. So it's a simple build in that they just need to cross cut, and then they're going to rip cut, and then they have to kind of think about how we're going to put this notch in it here. And so what we end up doing is we drill out the corners, we use the handsaw and chisel and file to kind of clean up this fit. And so it fits together really nicely. And then a huge thing that students like to do is personalize it. And so if you have a laser engraver for your classroom, it can be hugely, hugely helpful for buy-in. So this on its own, when it's just plain, is a little bit boring, but they can put a logo, they can put a saying, and that makes a huge difference for them. So the first 12 inches are created with this. And so the second project that they do is this catch-all tray, and it's just a simple tray, and it's just designed to sit by a door and hold your keys or whatever it is. And this one is going to take the 23 inches. So the second 23 inches they cross cut off, and this is the first project that I actually really want them to look good. So I'm really kind of paying attention. Do they have gaps in their miters? Do they have gaps, in their joints? This is a really pretty simple glue up, but the way we make it look a little bit nicer is we stain it, and then we put this chamfer on the edge with the router table, and that makes it look a little bit more elegant. And if you use contrasting stains, then you get this nice feature here where you can have that there. So again, this is their second project from that board. And then their last project, they need 18.5 inches. And what they make is, I'm calling it this craftsman style clothing rack. And so this project is one that is much harder for them because of the joinery. And so when I do a complex project like this, the way that we lay it out is I actually have one that sits that's kind of built, but they can take apart and look at. So this one shows our joinery. We're using biscuit joints to hold that top shelf together. And then we're using dowels here. And one of the things that's a little tricky with the dowels is getting this offset so that we have this gap here, which is a really nice feature. It makes it kind of pop a little bit more. So we developed a 3D printed dowel jig that can sit in there and helps them kind of drill those holes correctly so that we have the right spacing. So I've found for my students, when it's something that's a little more complicated of how do you put this together, they want to screw things together or just glue them together. They don't ever see kind of these hidden features. Having something for kids that they can kind of play around with. Look, man, I label things. This is the bottom. This is the front. There's the biscuit. There's my center line. There's the back. We clamp this to the table. I can really show kids in real time kind of how these pieces came together. So I'll have another video where we talk about kind of the process in terms of how we design these. They will design these all on the computer first, and then we'll come and talk through how we actually fabricate it in the shop. But that is our next 3 weeks. And again, that's taking just one 1x8 by 5 foot long piece of board and getting three pretty nice projects out of it that students can learn a lot of different things with, from hand tools to power tools to different types of joinery. If you're interested in these projects, I'm going to put some PDF plans up on my website so you can check those out. I'm going to make those free for now. You can download them, check them out. They're designed for students to use as well. So what you'll see is for each one, it has dimensions on one side, and then on the second side, the way that I have my students work through it is I actually don't give them detailed directions written down. They have to come up with the fabrication steps, how they think they're going to make this. We talk it through, and then they go and build that. So that moves them from just direction followers, following a set of planned steps, to critical thinkers, where they're figuring out, all right, how do I get from here to here? What's number two? Is this a rip cut? Well, how am I going to do that? How am I going to make that work? And so what tool do I use? How do we do it safely? So these will be available. You're welcome to use them. Let me know how it works out for you.